So, Kenny, how are you going?
Oh, it's wonderful. Listen, first a few questions, then I'd like you to sing me a jingle, a goodbye jingle.
Okay, goodbye jingle.
Oh yeah, what can we expect from you in the next few months? I've heard you're working on it.
A lot of brown paper bags, Kenny, actually.
Yeah.
We're working very hard on that at the moment, boys and me.
Anything tuney?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of tunes to be found in the bags, actually.
I got told that you don't actually come in here with the idea of doing an album, it just sort of falls out of one of the sessions.
Well, we have a vague idea, you know, Ken?
Yes.
As I was only saying the other day, we had a vague idea, but very vague. Also, very vague. Just a bit of laughter, ladies and gentlephones.
Have you done any actual complete numbers?
No. We're halfway through the second incomplete number now.
Yeah. You don't actually do them whole complete and then finish with them and then start another one?
See, like, we've got to a stage with one where the next bit is musicians, so we'll have to write the musicians bit. You see.
Do you ever get to, you've done your bit and you decide it would be good on its own and then forget the musicians?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody stole my gown. Somebody stole my gown.
Can you sing me a goodbye jingle?
Okay.
It doesn't have to rhyme.
Goodbye jingle. Goodbye jingle. Goodbye. Goodbye jingle. Goodbye jingle. Goodbye. Goodbye.
And now a word for all our American listeners.
Goodbye jingle. Goodbye jingle. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Wonderful. Will it pick them up, do you think?
What?
Do you think it'll pick them up?
Of course it will pick it.
Yeah. Is there any particular record out at the moment?
Oh, yeah, let me think. Nielsen. One of Nielsen's.
Which one particularly? As you know, we've played quite a few of them.
Yes, so let me think, Ken, for the moment. River Deep, Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
When I was a little baby, my mama used to smash me in the cradle, picking those old cotton fields back home.
Oh, cotton fields.
When mama was a little bitty baby, she used to smash me in my cradle. When I was a little bitty baby back home.
That was impresario John Lennon playing for you. And now, a few words from him.
And there goes some daddy story I to each other. No cerca sempre, se mare ci ciuano, che se mare tu aiati. Poi sto mare con un dio Kenny Avaretto, MBE.
So that's what India taught you.
Exactly.
Did you come back with anything incredibly fantastic?
Yes.
Or was it just a little
A beard.
Yeah. I met Donovan the other day on a show, and he looked a little better for it.
Yes, it was very healthy though.
I got a photograph of you in the Daily Mirror standing in a sheet. You look very peaceful.
That's called a banoose, Kenny, and I got it from Morocco.
Really?
Standing in the sheet, what do you mean?
It looked like a sheet.
Well, they do. Banooses look very, very like sheets.
Mm-hmm.
See, so as the lower classes in Morocco don't feel too put out,
Yeah.
having only sheets to wear.
I had a black one with you, and wouldn't show. Where's my cup?
Very hot though. Very hot, Ken. Black clothes.
Is that mine?
Very hot indeed.
Have you got anything to say that our listeners would understand
How about good morning?
about anything you've recorded so far? Something that they'll comprehend.
No, we've just done 2 tracks, both unfinished. And the second one's Ringo's first song that we're working on this very moment.
Exactly. He composed it himself.
He composed it himself in a fit of lethargy.
And what do you think about it?
I think it's the most wonderful thing I've ever heard since Nielsen's River Deep and Mountain Dew.
Well, that's about 30 seconds worth.
No, there's an LP out of this, Ken. There's an LP.
Hey, listen, you said
Kenny Everett. It's the Kenny Everett Show.
Are you composing this straight out of your head?
This is ad nauseum, straight from the mouth that bit me.
I don't know how he does it, friends.
Neither do I, friends. You sit here cross-legged on the amplifier, strummling away.
guruing.
I hope we're going to hear this, listeners, because we have a lot of fun doing it. We never quite hear them, listeners. Never quite hear them when you get home.
Well, I will play this completely all the way through, just
Right.
for you.
For you.
What kind of guitar is that? Very strange looking.
Fretless guitar. Nobody's boy. Hear that, listeners?
How's business with Apple?
Oh, it's one. I mean, what can I say?
You couldn't ask for any.
I couldn't ask for any more tapes or bits of paper.
They won't get that either, but still.
So, wonderful radio wonders.
Ask me a few questions.
Okay, Kenny. What are you doing?
Well, at the moment, I'm having a daily show come on soon.
Really?
Yeah.
So they haven't sacked you?
No.
I was getting you a job with the Isle of Man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'll put in a word for you
Thank you.
with Ronald Manx.
I might need it. If you were stranded away on a desert island,
Yeah.
what one gramophone record would you take with you? Excluding the Bible and Sgt. Pepper as obvious choices.
One gramophone record. It hasn't been made yet.
You don't think there's any records worth taking?
Not all the way to a desert island.
Yeah. This hair in my sauce. When you produce something of such a high standard as your last album undoubtedly was,
High standard.
high standard, don't you think that you've really got to strive, like,
No.
to produce something
No,
a little bit better?
It only got high because everybody said how high it was. It's no higher than it was when we made it.
Yes. The hidden meanings on that one, ladies and gentlemen.
No, what I mean, Kenny, is that, you see, it doesn't pose a problem to us. It was so long ago, we've forgotten what it was about anyway. And let me put it this way.
That's it. Hey, listen, you were saying last time that I met you that you hadn't really had a chance to listen to it, Sgt. Pepper, because you've been so busy making it. And
I don't think I ever did listen to it since we made it properly.
You haven't sat
I've heard
down.
bits of it, yeah.
You haven't really sat down and.
Not since, I mean, I played it just after we made it, and that's it, really.
Yeah.
But I like to hear it on the radio.
All right. Shall I play it?
Yes, that'd be nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sgt. Pepper.
Mm.
Do you think Paul and you could do a duo harmony jingle?
Well, you'd have to get him.
Paul? Can you come and do a goodbye jingle? Well, that's a pretty wonderful idea.
Goodbye to Kenny Everett, he is our very pal. Goodbye to Kenny Everett, is our very pal. Goodbye to Kenny Everett, he is our very pal. Goodbye Kenny Everett, goodbye to Kenny Everett, he is our very pal. Goodbye Kenny Everett, goodbye to Kenny Everett, he is our very pal. Goodbye Kenny Everett, goodbye Kenny Everett, goodbye Kenny. Goodbye, Kenny Everett. Goodbye, Jimmy Everett. Boris Karloff. Goodbye, Boris. Mulaney McCurry. Goodbye, Mulaney. Goodbye to Kenny Everett. And old Rand Everett, too. Goodbye.
Rousing crescendo.
And it's a goodbye rousing crescendo.
Thank you, John.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Paul.
Tiny Tim, play Tiny Tim. That's what you gotta play. Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
Yeah, he's good, greatest ever, man. He's great. Oh, he's the greatest. You see. Yeah. You see if I ain't right, Kenny Everett.
Give us a rendition of his song.
Play Tiny Tim, gentle readers.
Tiptoe through the tulip.
He's real.
He's real, man. We saw him.
He's like her, but he's much better. He can sing great, really. He's great. I mean, he's good with it. It's like it's a funny joke at first, but it's not really.
He's
It's
great.
real. It's true.
How old is he?
Tiny Tim for president, or Tiny Tim for queen. Tiny Tim for president. Tiny Tim.
Yeah, thank you.
You'd like to interview my cohorts for the following few months' show. It's the Kenny Everett show.
Kenny Everett show.
Well, it's nice to be on the air again. Beatles George speaking from the MI studios.
Sing goodbye to me. It's my last show next week.
Is it? Got the sack, did you?
No, I've got in the morning. Goodbye, Kenny. See you at the dawning. Goodbye, Kenny. It's nice to see you back. Bye, Kenny. We hear you got the sack. Goodbye, Kenny. See you in the morning. Goodbye, Kenny. See you in the morning. Groovy, groovy, Kenny. Goodbye, Kenny. Goodbye, Paul. Bye, Kenny. Goodbye, Ringo.
Bye, Kenny.
Goodbye, John.
It's the day to go and LP there. Okay, Henry. I'll do a rough voice now. A rough voice, then you can play your bits to it.
Goodbye, Kenny, and thank you for all you've done for us in the past.
It's been a pleasure.
Over the radio.
You're wrong, Kenny. It has not been a pleasure. It has not.
Repeat, no. N-O-T-O.
This is a rousing chorus of Strawberry Fields Forever in jazz tempo.
Strawberry Fields Forever.
Let me take you down, cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. But nothing is real. And nothing to be going with. Strawberry Fields Forever.
Let's hear it, let's hear it. It's just don't let
Johnny,
that.
you can't play it. Put it on.
Don't bloody play it back
At
right.
what speed is it?
7.5.
Oh, you crumbs.
Well, that goes to 7.5. That's only the first track.
Let's play it through there on the fourth track. You're on TGM, I take the corner. God. Yeah, you can't. No, just bring out this one. We don't want to play it back yet.
Okay.
Sit back and relax as Ray Benici investigates Paul McCartney's public image.
On a poor young country boy, Mother Nature
that kind of PR thing. I just automatically thought we sort of needed it in the Beatles to get on and to meet people and press and stuff. So I would do a lot of that, because no one else would. It's the truth. John would never do it, and George wasn't into it. And Ringo would, if he liked you. But I'd do it even if I didn't like you. I just felt that someone had to be a kind of PR thing. I wouldn't hang around you a lot if I didn't like you, but I wouldn't particularly let you know I didn't like you, Now, some people see that as two-faced. I don't really. I kind of see it as, some people are like that, I don't particularly want to go around sort of, I'm just not that kind of person, So I just started off doing that, and then got very into the habit. All the press people we'd see, I'd kind of bring them in. Well, come on, I knew that I could see they were nervous. And I said, well, come on, I don't like nervous people around. Like, who does? People being nervous hate to be nervous, but it's something you've got to kind of see. And you think, well, I can cool this out. Let's have a cup of tea. Okay, now come on, sit down. And a lot of Liverpool people are very good at that.
Sure,
and maybe it's not always genuine, but my auntie Gina always used to call me polished. She says, you're really polished, you are. But in a way, she kind of liked it. So what's happened is, over years and years and years of it, and then particularly with John, John coming out against me like that, was like no good for me at all, because he really slagged me off. Most of which, well, I don't know most of which, but a lot of which he didn't mean. He's kind of said it in interviews since, and I've talked a lot to Yoko since, and she kind of tells me, she said, a lot of it was sort of John's thing, and a lot of it was his own. He just wanted to sort of put me down. He'd kind of say, oh, everyone's on the McCartney bandwagon and stuff.
But he was laughing.
Jealous.
He was laughing as well when he was doing it.
He'd be laughing, yeah.
The thing where he said the only thing he did was yesterday. He was in an interview. He said he was ashamed himself with laughter.
Yeah,
doing it.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
And the pig with the pig and the
Yeah, it's all jokes, taking the piss. Taking the mickey out of me.
Typical.
Which that was John.
Scouse, taking the piss.
That's his particular thing, yeah. And that's what I liked him for, So I couldn't. But the thing is, I think what's happened is, I think it's probably made it look worse than it is, I think, As I say, the truth is that he didn't really think that was all my character. The truth was he knew there was all sorts of other bits. But I think it is true, I sometimes do catch myself and think, God, do I look like that? Or, is that how I come over to people? And the funny thing is, I'm just struggling trying to get through life okay and try and be okay in it, try and do well, like a lot of people I know.
Is your life being made public?
Yeah, when I realised
your
that,
life is public.
I realised that good 15 years ago, I remember actually thinking, when I went on holiday somewhere and we'd got famous in that country, Greece or somewhere. Oh God, I'd really better start thinking now about keeping a few countries where we don't sell records to or something, because I don't want to be famous everywhere, so I won't be able to go anywhere without being recognised. But then you just kind of think that, and you think, well, I've reached the point of no return, there's no going back. John said to me, it was a year or so before he died, he said something about, be careful what you wish for, it just might come true. And that's the kind of thing, that'll make you think, that's the kind of thing that, that's the way I look at it. Well, I wished for this, and I got it. It's not necessarily...
That's why I said, do you regret it?
Yeah, no, I said I don't regret it. No, I wouldn't regret something like that. To regret it would mean I'd have to sit here living with some negative thoughts about sort of how I was, and I know that'd only sink me down.
But are you happy with the way you live it? With the way that you've got your own little empire?
I really am.
Let's call it an empire.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back. Or as my son calls it, Stripes on My Back. He doesn't get the time.
Stripes on My Back.
Stripes on My Back. He says, can we watch Stripes on My Back? Empire Strikes Back. I think that's very good. Literary training.
The fact that I can go to that coffee shop there and...
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, I really hate that, because I used to be big on that. That's just what I used to do all the time. I used to get on a bus. I remember when we got famous, I remember saying to someone, I miss going on buses, and George thought I was mad. Because George was really into cars, and his dad was a bus driver. George really didn't understand what I meant about going on buses. He just didn't like buses. He had a Ferrari, what do you need a bus for? But for me, it's different. I really like that, getting on the top of the bus, being anonymous. I can actually do a little bit of that. I can take the train in, And I never get hassled, you know. I kind of get in compartments with people and they kind of look at me, they recognise me. Sometimes, they don't always recognise me, by the way, you know.
There's a clown.
Well, I had one fella in New York come up to me and said, "Hey, aren't you the guy who plays in Beatlemania? Plays Paul in Beatlemania?" I said, "You got it. That's me." Actually, I'm not always against it. Sometimes I actually like it. It's like going to a party. It's an instant party because you go into a room and instead of those kind of cold silences where everyone kind of sits, you get a sort of warm thing. It's like, "Hello, Paul. Ah, bloody hello." And I quite like that. You know, it's a little bit of... Sometimes I like it.
I mean, now you've experienced 20 years of that.
Yeah.
Do you like it now as you get older? Because, of course,
It's-
they say
it's
the popularity
not-
decreases and all that. But
Yeah.
I mean, do you like now? Does it satisfy your ego now?
Well, I'm a
notice
kind
now?
of, you know, I've been doing it so long that, to tell you the truth, you know, that if I really sort of feel like, you know, the popularity is going down, it's weird because I really don't want to try and hang on to it. But you do it so long. Be like if I just told you tomorrow you're not going to be doing this job. You know, you'd think you could do lots of other things, but you'd actually miss it, just pure habit. So to me, I do find myself sometimes, you know, if someone doesn't recognise me, excuse me, you know, remember me? No, I'm not that bad, really.
I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in and stops my mind from wandering where it will go.
Now, what about live? Are you going to perform live, or is that? You've made a statement. Either you or Linda said it, but said for safety reasons we don't reckon we should go.
Oh, well, that was right after John's thing.
It was
I think
after
somebody
John.
said, "Are you going on stage next week?" And I kind of replied that again, so responding to a question, which puts stuff in my mouth. Obviously, like, I'm thinking about all that, wondering if I want to, wondering if... And really, I'd be the same way as I've always ever been. If it grabs me, if the thought grabs me, I'll do it. Until then, I won't.
You're not terrified, though? I mean, obviously you were terrified.
No, I was very terrified right after John's thing. Because it's such a horror, you know, it's such a thing. I mean, in fact, I was talking to Yoko. This is the funny thing. So she talks to me about this, you know. She said people don't like you because of certain things. Like, for instance, when John was killed, I was asked for a quote, and I said, "It's a drag." Now, to me, looking back on it, I mean, that was like, I was just stunned. I couldn't think of anything else to say. I could have tried for a sentence and really tried to put it all into words. I couldn't. It was just like, blub would have meant about as much, you know. Just like, it's a drag. You know, but that put in cold print, it was Paul asked for his reactions today, said, "It's a drag, thank you very much," and then he got in his car and zoomed off. And, you know, that's the terrible thing about all that
That's
stuff.
what we were talking about earlier, the lost PR.
The PR thing. So I am very aware of all that. You know, I hate all of that because I really don't ever mean it to come out like it comes out sometimes. But she was saying that. She was saying, you know, that... And I was saying, well, Christ, I mean, it was really because I just couldn't put it into words, you know. And she was happier to hear me say all that stuff and to hear me own up about this stuff and talk real about it all. Because my relationship with her was based on that too. Although for me, a lot of it was just fear. She's a very tough lady, and John and she made a very formidable couple, and often I would talk to them and kind of they would sort of say, "Well, that's stupid," you know, so, which made me fearful. It made me not... I've said to her recently, I said, well, often, you know, I would get very nervous to talk to you. Couldn't do it. Because, you know, they would say some kind of things that I thought were like crazy. And I'd say, well, now look, you know, I think this is really like right about this. And I think this is... They'd say, oh, come on, you know, you're just being your old, you know, average self again, or whatever it is, you know, polished self. And I'd say, no, I really mean it. No, I really do think you shouldn't do that. And it really does. But after you've been told, oh, come on, you're just being polished, you know, you get nervous to try and say it again. How do I feel? I can't remember. I can't express it. I can't believe it. It was crazy. It was anger. It was fear. It was madness. It was the world coming to an end. It was Will it happen to me next? It was everything.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, possessing and caressing me.
Were you actually still close to the guy, even though your relationship seemed
Yeah.
like...
I mean, the thing was, I suppose what the story was that we were pretty close in the beginning when we were writing stuff and that, and felt a lot of sympathy for each other and stuff. But from a lot of what he said later, obviously, there was stuff I was missing in the picture, you know. But anyway, I felt very close to him then. And then when the Beatles started to get strain on them, kind of towards the end of the last couple of years, it was getting to be a bit of a strain, and we were getting a little bit more, we were drifting more apart. I think the kind of anchor that had held us all together was still there. I think that we all, in a way, like we started to get really angry with each other and get annoyed and get frustrated with each other. But we were like still very keen on each other, like, and sort of, I don't know, loved each other, I suppose, in a way, you know, just because we've been together that long and been mates that long. That's like Ringo says, we were his three brothers. And it's that kind of a feeling, you know. I mean, I didn't realise that. Ringo would tell me later, he said, "You really like my brothers, you lot," you know. But we sort of all knew there was some kind of deep regard for each other there. Then we started to like argue over business and all that stuff, and then we started to just drift apart. And as you say, like a kind of divorce, the bitchiness set in, and everyone started to say, "Oh, you say that, do you? Well, I'm really going to let you know what I've been thinking all these years." And I think you kind of go a little bit over the top. Then we got very estranged, because then John went to live in New York with Yoko. And they had very much were just their own couple, and there wasn't many people that could get into that thing. And I really think that was kind of one of the best things ever happened to him from his personal happiness point of view. It wasn't too easy for all of us, because he was sort of leaving us and going off on a new life. And whether you like it or not, we felt that, each one of us, because we've been pretty close and we'd been each other's crutches for a long time. Then with John kind of moving away, there was a lot of bitchiness kind of came in. But I really think, and from talking to Yoko, the first thing she did actually after he was killed, I spoke to her the day after, and the first thing she said to me was he really was fond of you, you know. She was almost as if she sensed that I was wondering whether it had kind of snapped the relationship, and I believe it was sort of always there. I believe he really was fond, as she was telling me. I don't want to go into kind of personal details, but you know, from what she tells me, it was always there. But he was very jealous on the surface, and so was I, and it was all stupidness on the surface. But I mean, the last phone conversation I ever had with him was really good, and we were really best of mates, and it was really ace.